right.
We're good.
Welcome, guys. Long time no see. Welcome back to the Daily Oats podcast. This is your co-host Colton. Got my boy Hario with me.
What's up,
And
people?
it's been a long time since we kind of
It's
sync back up, Hario.
it's been a straight minute.
Yeah,
But yeah, life happens, guys. It happens.
life does happen. But the good thing is that we're back, giving you all some wonderful content. And we have a lot of stuff to talk about today. I mean, it's a lot of stuff.
A lot.
And I know you all might ask, like, are you all together? Yes, we are together.
We are. This is technically our first in-person episode in the quote-unquote studio, aka my current man cave.
Yes. And we have I don't know if you can see in the background, but I know you all see his wonderful setup of countless Legos. And there's a lot. We can't be able to show everyone,
Yeah.
But as you can see, I've got some of his stuff behind me. He has some stuff behind him. He's got a nice little setup.
Yeah.
I would show mine sometimes too, but mine will not be able to top Harrio's right now. For sure.
Well, there's always room for improvement.
Oh yes. Let me just I got some stuff. Let's just say that. I got a little city that I had to show to on camera one time. But until then, Harrio takes the cake of his wonderful. He's got the Disney Castle and one of the roller coasters in the background, so he takes the cake right now.
Yeah, sure. Once the UCS ADAC goes up, then that's when we go next level. So
that's going to be a absolute must for you to build, and that's going to be next on my shopping list. I may go broke after, but it's worth it.
Definitely worth it. Yeah. And mine's currently sitting like right in front of me in the box. I've opened it. I just haven't pulled bags out and done anything yet, but hopefully this winter I can get into that just when, I'm not outside golfing or anything. And speaking of golf, we finished a round a little earlier today, and it actually wasn't bad. It was actually a pretty decent round, I will say.
Yeah, I think we did pretty well. And I know for sure what we're going to do is on our channel, we are going to definitely do a lot of golf stuff.
For sure.
I mean, Harry's better than me, but I'm going to get there one day.
Yeah.
I will be. But I think we got a lot of stuff that we should talk about today.
Ton of stuff. Gosh, I don't even know where to start.
There's a lot.
So yeah, I think we'll cover a couple predetermined topics.
Okay.
And then we'll start answering the questions that you got from DJ and whoever else.
Yeah. Yes.
So yeah, we'll just hop into one of those topics and then go from there.
So I think maybe since, we got some Legos in the background, maybe we should talk about Star Wars Legos.
I'm perfectly
A couple things. There's been a couple new sets that have came out within the Lego store. Right now we would show you, but we're also in person today. A couple sets that did come out. One of them in particular, the Dark Falcon, which that one is a very, very, very nice set.
Yeah.
I mean, me personally, I haven't got it yet, but if I could tell, nobody did not judge me. I'm making sure I get all this content. We get all this content correct for you. I'm having it pulled up on my phone. One of the sets, the Dark Falcon, it's $179 and 99 cents, and it is 1,579 pieces. Minifigures are phenomenal. I mean, absolutely atrociously amazing. So some of the examples, which Harry, I believe we have, is a white Jedi Vader.
Jedi Vader, which is awesome.
Wow.
Truly awesome.
And we all know who Vader is. I mean, he's one of the most menacing villains of all time, and he's always decked out in black. And having a white Vader, that's definitely going to be a collector's item down the line.
Yeah.
Down the line.
Yeah, I would personally consider him the greatest villain of all time.
Yes.
I think I would.
Yes. I'm 1000% with you, because everything that Vader does, he's a menacing person. Just absolute strikes fear into every rebellion, every person, everything that goes on.
Yeah. And on a side note with Vader, obviously, you know, he was definitely menacing and all that, but he didn't do like crazy stuff in like the original trilogy per se. And then obviously you didn't get to see him do anything at the end of Revenge of the Sith. So Rogue One, if you haven't seen it, there's a scene at the end of that film, and it's the hallway scene, and it's basically one of the greatest scenes in all of Star Wars history. Yeah. It's just, and I want to see so much more of like straight up like evil Vader. Like, we don't get to see that, but that scene was just truly like, that was Vader. That was the Vader that I think we deserve to see more on screen. Like, it's all in like legends and comics and all that stuff. But besides that scene in Rogue One, he hasn't really been put to screen in like his full form. So hopefully down the road we get more stuff like that, and hopefully maybe in like, if they do make an Obi-Wan Kenobi season 2, hopefully we can get more in that show too. But we shall see.
I agree with you. I do agree with him on that, and it's because that scene with Vader in Rogue One just terrorizing the rebels. It's our first time we have truly seen the full power of Vader versus actual infantry, or not lightsaber fighting against soldiers. And I personally think that it's honestly one of the most menacing scenes, not only in Star Wars, but in a lot of sci-fi movie history. A lot of it. And it's crazy that we say that, is that there is a comic book scene. And I just remember this off the top of my head. There's a comic book scene of Vader being surrounded by a bunch of rebels. And you're welcome to look this up, because we're not kidding. And the rebels are like, Lord Vader, we have you surrounded. Surrender. And Vader was like, the only thing that surrounds me is a bunch of dead men. And this is like 50 people to one, maybe. Just, and you all, the audience, just you all think about this. 50 people to one person, and Vader didn't get a scratch on him, and just killed them all.
Yeah.
That is so mind-boggling to me. He's that man. Like, he's that person. But it's. I know we kind of got, a little bit off topic with that, because we're so excited when we talk about this. You have to understand. But we almost dive back into some of the Lego stuff what we discussed with the Dark Falcon. We have a beach Luke, which is just a Luke Skywalker in a beach outfit.
Yeah, kind of looks like a hippie. Out of all the figs, he's probably he's cool. It's Luke, but I don't know, might be my least favorite from the set.
And then we also have a Bounty Hunter CP3O, which honestly, that's amazing. That's like really, really cool, because he has red eyes and a silver arm, even though he's gold plated. So he's not my favorite minifigure in this set, but he's at least my top 3. And there's, I believe, 6 minifigures in this set. Here we go.
I think that's right. I think somewhere around there.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Yes. Perfect. Then we also have Darth Dev, which
I don't even know who that is.
Yeah.
He might have just been made for this, like, the special that Star Wars and Disney are releasing, that this set is based off of. He might just be a character in that universe. He may not have any importance outside of that little realm. maybe.
Interesting. Okay. Cool. That's yeah. I'm with Harry on that. I'm not sure who he exactly is, but he's in this universe that we have to respect, and especially since it's a Dark Falcon.
Yeah.
That's cool. We also have, I know a lot of people are going to love this one, is a Darth Jar Jar Binks.
That's definitely my favorite one. Hands down.
Oh yeah,
hands
for
down.
sure. It's Jar Jar Binks as a Sith Lord. Who would not want that? Which conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
Conspiracy theories about him actually being another Sith Lord.
Yeah.
But that's another rabbit hole we would discuss.
Yeah. I feel like he is. In some universe, he's definitely a Sith Lord.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
Where'd he go after Revenge of the Sith? He survived. Where'd he go?
No. We don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
I think he is a Sith too. I think so. And then, of course, we have a Darth Ray, which kind of got a good glimpse of Darth Ray in the Skywalker saga.
That was, it was one of the sequel films. I'm trying to remember which one. I don't know if it was like, what was Episode 8? I forget the name of that one.
The Last Jedi?
The Last Jedi, or Rise of Skywalker. I forget which one we saw her in. But yeah, we saw her in. The lightsaber was cool. I will say that. Like the hinged, double-bladed lightsaber, which is really cool. So yeah, definitely, probably my, out of the set, I don't know. It's cool seeing her in minifigure form. I'm probably going to have to put her in third place just because I really like Jedi Vader.
Yes, me too. I think I'm with you on that one. Personally, what I like Darth Vader as number one, then Jar Jar, but it's so close to time because seeing Vader in an all-white minifigure of a Jedi with a blue saber, honestly, gets me excited.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
So you all need to definitely collect that one
For sure.
and keep it down the line because we definitely know it will be worth something. So we next, a couple other sets that we haven't, we may not try to spend too much time on these new sets. I mean, they're pretty new. I mean, they're on the Lego store, etc. So we're not going to touch the points of the main ones that we personally will get and invest in. One of them, the next one is Jedi Bob. Jedi Bob, which, if you all know who Jedi Bob is, which I'll let Harry touch on that one.
Yeah, so basically, it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird. Basically, he was in this Lego set, like, way back. And I want to say it was kind of like a Clone Wars themed set. Because I think it was him. And then I want to say there was like a clone trooper in the set or something. And it's so random. And he's literally, his name wasn't Bob. Like he was just a straight up just plain Jedi. So fans literally named him Bob. Like Star Wars and Lego, they didn't name him Bob. He was just a straight up nameless Jedi. And then like fans just decided to give him a random name, and from there we got Jedi Bob, and now he's like one of the most sought after Star Wars minifigures ever. And for those of us who weren't around, and I think it was like 2002 or something when that set came out. Obviously for those of us who didn't get him from that set, they recently released a Jedi Bob Starfighter and allowed us to basically get that fig again. So he's definitely still very popular, even though he's re-released basically. So
yes, appreciate that. Very well. It's a great description about Jedi Bob. Right now, I have him pulled up. He is right now retail at $40. Only comes with 305 pieces, so we see it's just a very small Starfighter. Technically two minifigures, which include, actually three, include Jedi Bob, of course, a Gonk droid, which, if you're a Gonk fan, we always love Gonks.
Yep.
And an I can't pronounce the actual series, or what's the actual trooper, what's his name? It's Admiral Akbar species.
Okay, oh man, what are they called?
Yeah.
But, yeah, anyway, basically, yeah. Everyone knows Admiral Akbar. Yeah, famous for all that, so, yeah.
And we're just going to call him an Akbar trooper.
Yeah.
So he's in the set too, like I said. Retail for $40, not too bad. Definitely going to be very valuable later on in the end. So another brand new set that just came out would be I'm gonna go with the Desert Skiff and Sarlacc pit. So most people have seen Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. In the beginning, you see, you know, Luke, Princess Leia in her in her prisoner costume, and you see Lando in his skiff costume with Chewie, Han Solo, essentially fighting off Boba Fett over the Sarlacc pit. They just made this set a little play set. I personally would not get this set only on one condition, and the one condition is because you get Nine Numb, the Celestian pilot, as a 25th anniversary minifigure.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm with you. I personally, when I saw this set and then I saw the price, I was like, it's $20 more than it should be. Easily $20 more than it should be. Sure, there's some decent characters that you don't see too often, but at the same time, it's like, for the piece count and just like the actual scale of the set, it's like, I don't know, it's way overpriced, and I just not too interested. So I skipped out on that one.
And then the last one we will technically kind of go over, which I think it's a great set. It's the play scale version of the Imperial Star Destroyer. Now, with this set, I think the minifigures are absolutely phenomenal. It's a play scale set of the Imperial Star Destroyer, which we all know the giant Imperial UCS Star Destroyer that's out right now. It is, it's retired, but probably retails to resell for like what, $1,000?
It's definitely over 1K.
Yeah, so it's crazy. But the figures it comes with, it just comes with Vader, a stormtrooper. It comes with an Imperial engineer, and then an Imperial officer, and an Imperial, I want to say lieutenant, maybe?
That's probably right.
And then, I believe, and it comes with an Imperial captain. Oh, it comes with Commander Plea. Did not know that.
Okay.
Interesting. Okay. And then, of course, this set also does have a 25th anniversary set, or 25th anniversary minifigure, which I personally think this set is worth it just because of the minifigure. Everybody knows they have played the wonderful, wonderful game of Jedi Fallen Order. And in this set, you come with a minifigure of the one and only Cal Kestis. And this is the first time we've seen
First time we've seen Cal Kestis in minifigure form, yeah.
Yeah, so he is going to be rare.
Yeah.
Extremely rare for who he is, why he's somewhat of a fan favorite within the Star Wars universe. And if anybody has played the game, which I played the game, I know Harrio's played the game, he's definitely a collector's item. So I would highly advise to get your hands onto the Imperial Star Destroyer. It's $159.99. Comes with 1,550 pieces, actually. And I think it's a great set overall.
I wonder how long the Star Wars sets with the 25th anniversary characters are going to be like available, like in stores for sale.
I wonder that too. I'm really curious to see how long or when they would start just reselling the 25th anniversary minifigures. Because I would definitely buy all of them.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, this set, I think the fig lineup is terrific. And obviously it's a play scale Star Destroyer, but for the price and the figs you're getting, it's definitely worth it. Right. I thought, so opening day when these sets released, I got the Dark Falcon and I got Jedi Bob Starfighter.
Right.
I purposefully skipped out on, well, there are two reasons. I have a wife. Reason number one, I have a wife, and so obviously I don't need to be going out and spending $400 on Lego. So that's one reason why I didn't get it opening day. Another reason was I just assumed, obviously the Dark Falcon, it was flying off the shelves like I'm pretty sure I got the last one they had opening day. Cause like, employee went back, he grabbed like 6 or 7 more, and like as he was walking with them to set them on the shelf, people were just grabbing them from his stack. Like literally just grabbing them from his stack. He had like 2 left, he put them on the shelf, 2 more people grabbed those. So I like had to run him down and ask him, hey, do you have any more in the back? And he was like, I'm not sure, but I'll check. Luckily he had 1 left. Unfortunately the box is deemed up, but I was able to get the set. So obviously that one's probably the most popular out of all the Star Wars sets that released.
Yes.
Gosh, it's August 1st, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
August 1st. This month is flying by the way. But but anyway, it was that Jedi Bob Starfighter. I knew I had to get those immediately. They were both just flying off the shelves, and I knew I could probably wait on the Star Destroyer, and I'm probably gonna get it pretty soon here. Because I just don't know when they'll stop selling them, because I don't think anyone really knows. So it's better to get it before they just kind of disappear, and then you miss out on Cal Kestis and everybody else. So
Definitely listen to us, guys. I mean, we're giving you some great knowledge about this stuff because a lot of people don't realize that Lego is basically, Lego also can and is investment. I mean, there's multiple Legos that are out, that have been out and retired that are worth a bunch of money. I mean, a bunch of money. So definitely, do your research too. I mean, if you have some leftover Legos and you don't know how much they're worth, we included a couple websites with, I think it was Brick Economy.
mm-hmm. Yep.
Brick Economy, Bricklink, those 2 main websites will be able to give you a good generalization of how much your actual Lego is worth, and if it's still in the box, or if it's, uncompleted, or if it's fully completed with all the minifigures, definitely take a gander and see how much they're currently worth.
Yep.
So, that being said, though, let's see if we can switch gears.
All right, let's move on to a bigger and better topic.
Yes.
What do we got?
I think we should let's talk about the Acolyte.
Okay.
The Acolyte. So, first thing I'm gonna also point out there, I was a little bit heartbroken that they are no longer going to be discontinuing the Acolyte. Which a lot of people, if you don't know really too much about the Acolyte, it was a brand new TV series that technically took place 100 years before Phantom Menace. And if you're a Star Wars fans like me and Harrio, it talks about we get to see our first visual of certain things within the Old Republic, learning about different Sith. So a couple of different Sith people that may ring a bell is like Darth Plagueis, Darth Tenebrous. We could also see Darth Raven, Darth Malak. Malak, is it Malak?
Yep, Darth Malak. Yep.
Yeah, and all these Sith people, we don't know nothing about them. So just to kind of touch base with a little bit of the Acolyte, it ended. The last season was a few weeks ago, or almost over a month ago.
Yeah.
And after seeing the last season, Harry, tell me some of your thoughts. Give me, a little bit of a generalization of what your thoughts are behind it and your last second opinions on it.
Okay. I'll start with this. When they first announced the Acolyte and its time frame, 100 years before Phantom Menace, during the High Republic era and all that stuff, I was extremely excited. Like, ever since I saw the Phantom Menace, I was like, what happens before this? Like, how did we get to this point? Like, what happened? What was the downfall? What was all that? So when they announced this show, I was beyond excited. Like, I was so excited. And then we got to the first couple episodes, and personally, I was pretty okay with them. I was personally pretty okay with them. Then we got to episode 3. Is that the one? Is that the one where they do the Power of Many song at the? they're like their chant. Is that episode 3 or 4?
I think it's either 3 or 4
Okay.
because we do see the flashbacks.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, that happened. Extremely cringy. And at that point, it was all, as much as I hate to say it, it was pretty much all downhill from there. The story was just kind of, it was a few things. First, it was all over the place, and second, they were moving so slow. Like and I don't know, like when you have a season and like there are this few episodes and like still nothing really happens. Like from episode, I think like 2 through 6 or whatever, like not a whole lot goes on. There's not much of a time jump at all, really. And then, gosh, I haven't revisited since I saw the finale, but basically, I think the episode where like the whole thing was like a flashback, but it was like from I think the Jedi's point of view. That should have been the episode right after. I think it was 3. It was 3 or 4, and I think this was like episode 6 or something. That one should have been like right after episode 3 or 4.
I agree.
Because basically we didn't progress much, but then we just, oh hey, we're gonna backtrack. Hey, maybe you don't know what happened. Obviously we all knew what happened, but they said, oh hey, let's devote a whole episode to stuff everybody already knows and assumes. So that episode was truly a waste of time and money, because like this show cost $180 million. 180.
Stupid.
I don't think the budget for. Can you look up the budget for Revenge of the Sith real quick? We'll compare this to Revenge of the Sith, a movie that came out in 2005. So 19 years, well, probably 18 years, depending on when they were filming The Acolyte. But it came out way before then, but it looks great compared to this. I'm scared to even know what the budget was for Revenge of the Sith. I know it was definitely lower, right?
Oh, it's significantly lower.
Like, I'm scared to even know.
113 million.
That's kind of that's scary, because like Revenge of the Sith visually looks so good,
Perfect.
and like whenever someone mutters the title Revenge of the Sith, I just go straight to the opening scene.
Oh,
That is absolutely fantastic.
chill.
Straight to it. So like, when I think of the budget, the episodes look very low budget. Like they don't look great. They weren't pieced together well. Visuals aren't great. There were a lot of little hiccups that I guess they just were too lazy to go back and fix, or they didn't even notice in the first place, which if they didn't, was very bad. But I feel like a lot of their budget literally went to advertising. Because I remember leading up to the first couple episodes, they were just advertising like crazy. Like every post on X or Instagram or whatever, like they're just shoving like Acolyte advertisements down our throat, basically. And then like after every episode, like the next day, the Star Wars account is like posting 20 million different things. And like I was seeing it a lot on YouTube, like during ad breaks and like on TV too. So I'm like, I feel like a lot of their budget went to advertising.
I agree.
And
I agree.
that's alarming, because that says, hey, we're not confident in this show. Hey, if we're not constantly pushing this and forcing this down your throat, you're probably not going to watch it. So I don't know. I don't think they were very. At the end of the day, I just don't think they were very confident in their show, and yeah, it shows, because it was. I'm gonna be straight up. It was not good. It was not good, and we love Star Wars. It is like we live and breathe it. and I wanted to love this show, but I just I couldn't. It was just really, it was bad. It was really bad. As much as I hate to say it. Choreography, like the fight scenes, those were good. Lightsaber fight scenes, those were good. But other than that, I don't know. Story was just, I don't know. They just didn't do a good job with it.
I want to piggyback on that too. In my opinion as well, I don't think personally it's just the overall aspect of the show, the perspective with things. It just was not good. I mean, there was some great points that we were able to see. For example, we were able to see a type of witch civilization being able to create beings out of the Force, almost like a dyad in the Force. That's really cool because at the first time when we really seeing Star Wars, the only type of witches we see is the witches of Dathomir and Mother Taliesin, and all this crazy stuff from Star Wars: The Clone Wars. But the choreography was perfect. I personally say I absolutely love the choreography. Even seeing Quamir, the Sith Lord, or the Sith in the show, and versus Jekka, which, rest in peace, Jekka, which she's one of my favorite Jedis now, even though she did it in a really cool way, which it was pretty graphic.
Yeah.
I was pretty impressed. I mean, I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, she was like, honestly, so I think Master Soul was the best part of the show. But I think right behind him was Jackie. She did great.
She was a perfect character, and she played her role absolutely to a T. And then the other thing that I really wanted to touch base on, which I really love this, is the character Kalnaka. Kalnaka is a Wookiee Jedi, and we all know how Wookiees are. They're big, walking carpets, according to Han Solo, a.k.a. Chewbacca, from the homeland of Kashyyyk. And we've never seen an absolute Wookiee that is trained in the ways of the Force, as well as being a Jedi. And in the show, we were able to see the absolute true power and strength of a Wookiee Jedi in Kalnaka, but it was nonetheless not enough because, spoiler alert, I mean, he dies in the show.
And we still don't, we never saw it. That's another thing.
That's why I don't like.
Why do
I want to see that? I want to see that fight scene.
The end of the episode, they show, or I don't know if it was the end of the. I think it was the end. They show him. I'm already forgetting the girl's name.
May? Is it May?
Osha. No, it was May. Wasn't it?
Okay.
Was it May? I don't know.
Yeah,
one of the twins. One of the twins. Anyway, so she runs in his little hut. There he is. Freaking sliced through his chest. So then she runs out, and then she runs out, and then here comes Chimere floating down like Mary Poppins. Then like we see his face or whatever. Episode end. I really wanted to see if and when Kalnaka fought Chimere.
That would be amazing.
Why didn't you show that?
That, honestly, I would have loved to see that. I would have reached out to Disney and be like, why don't y'all show this fight scene? This would be, honestly, one of the top tier fight scenes that we could probably see. I mean, I did hear them see that Jackie, that fight scene between Jackie and Quamir, they lived up the hype to the fight scene of Darth Maul and Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon in The Phantom Menace. And the choreography behind the fight scene of what Jackie did personally was top tier.
Yeah,
I thought it was great.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. When she first, Daphne Keane is the actress. When I first saw the interview when she said that, after having seen a couple episodes, I was like, there's no way that's like possibly the greatest fight scene in all of Star Wars. There's no way you're gonna come even close. Right. Personally, yeah, it was pretty dang good. It was pretty dang good. Just seeing Chimere just slash through all the Jedi like it was nothing. That was, honestly, they did great. Was that the best scene in the show? I mean, it was pretty dang good. I'll just say that.
It's unfortunate that Jackie died.
Yeah.
But the way she died I mean, it's very graphic, but it's also cool because the way of how he killed her, which, spoiler alert, the way he killed her, he stabbed her 3 times as a shape of a triangle with his 2 lightsabers. So it's like imagine you getting stabbed in the chest as one, then stabbed right onto the like near your rib cage as another, and then on the opposite end of your rib cage is another as like a triangle. And it wasn't like a stabbing like long motion. It was just a quick 1, 2, 3, and that's all it was. And he retracted his lightsaber immediately, which that's amazing. Like that's really really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's another thing. Like, so obviously those stab wounds were in the shape of a triangle. Triangles had been reoccurring within that witch's coven that created Ocean May.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's enough. So Kalnaka's death, loophole, never saw it.
Mm-hmm.
Those triangles, those shapes and all that stuff. Obviously we know it has something to do with that coven, but like that wasn't something they ever touched on. Hinted at, hey, why triangles? Why not squares, circles, octagons, whatever. So they're just a bunch of loopholes. And those are just a couple examples, but that's another reason why the show, in my opinion, failed. Was just there are just so many just random things going on at once with no answer ever.
It was just weird because even in the show, and I don't even want to touch base on his character overall. I was interested in his death, but I'm not interested in the way they portrayed his character, and that's Master Torben. I was not really a big fan of the way he was as a character. I mean, I don't know. I'm very baffled by the way they portrayed his character, but the way that he died, the way that I'm able to see is that he drank his poison. All he did was willingly drink his poison. The thing that I'm thinking that he did was that he could not forgive himself, and May whispered 2 things, and he's been in this trance, which I can't remember exactly the name for it, but basically he's in a very deep meditation state, and nobody can wake him up, nobody can disturb him, and May just comes along, and just happens to whisper one specific thing, and he decides to wake up. She gives him a poison, and he's like, I forgive myself, or whatever he says, and drinks the poison willingly and dies.
Yeah, like what the heck? I mean,
Yeah.
Why?
I'm not sure
Why?
the storyline behind that.
I don't really get it. Yeah, he was there when like I'm just forgetting everybody's name. The chick from the Matrix, whatever her Jedi name was.
I forgot her name too.
So she kind of broke into Kalnak or whatever, mind stuff that the witch coven was. They had him in a trance or whatever. Obviously, she broke through that, and technically, through the Force, disconnected their Wi-Fi, and AK killed all of them. I guess. I assume.
Endar.
Endar, that's right. Endar, who also was a pretty good character in the show. I will say. Yeah, but anyway, like, yeah, he was there, and I guess he saw that, but at the same, like, what did he? I mean, sure, he sort of in a way instigated the whole. He kind of made Mother Talzum and whatever the other one's name was, kind of,
Mother Amnesia.
Mother Anastasia. That's right. Yeah. He kind of made them, get upset and whatnot, but he didn't technically cause all the death and stuff. So I just don't know why, like, he had to go into the whole meditation thing and like, oh man, I'm so sorry for everything I did. Dude, what did you do?
I'm with her on that. I'm not sure what was the character development for.
Yeah.
Well, with Acolyte is now canceled. It's unfortunate because there's some good parts into it, but it left us hanging. I mean, at the end, we also did get to see a in-person visual of Darth Plagueis, which sucks. It was only for like 3 seconds.
Yeah.
But seeing how menacing he was behind the scenes, I thought that.
Yeah.
And then we saw at the very, very end the Jedi, which I can't even remember her name.
The ball.
Vernestra?
Yeah, Vernestra. That's
Vernestra.
right. Yeah.
Oh, we saw her at the very end. They did the investigation of all the Jedi that died. And at the very, very end, she goes, Master, what should we do about this? Because they realize there is a Sith now out there. And, of course, at the very, very end, we get to see the absolute GOAT of Jedi, Yoda. And then it just ends. Now we don't get to know anything about it. So I'm not really a big fan of now that it just decides to end like this, but it is what it is.
Yeah, so the finale, that was kind of, looking back on it, it's even more tough. Like initially, so I thought, okay, yeah, for sure, they left all these plot holes open and stuff. Surely to goodness they're gonna have a season 2. So after seeing Plagueis and Yoda there in the finale, I was excited for sure, but I was also like, oh man, we're probably gonna have to wait 2-3 years to see them again, because like Disney Star Wars is notorious for taking forever to get their next season of a show out.
Right.
Like I think there was as far as I remember, there was a pretty big gap between Mando season 2 and 3.
Yes. Yes.
And then like Ahsoka, that needs a season 2. They're Baylan Skoll, Shin Hati, the whole crew. They have a lot to cover there.
Oh.
We have no idea when that's happening.
Yeah.
And then Obi-Wan Kenobi, I assume, would get a second season. I actually enjoyed the show.
Me too.
When's that gonna happen? We just don't know. Disney Star Wars is not good about like lining up
their communication skills
and their seasons. Like, if you're gonna make a season 6-8 episodes, you need to release a season every year.
Yes.
You can't release 6 episodes. It runs 6 weeks, sometimes less, depending on how many episodes they choose to air, like the first day. And then, like, you're just left with nothing for years. They can't do that.
That makes 1,000% sense.
Yeah, and then so yeah. Anyway, there's that. But back to the Acolyte finale. It's unfortunate that they canceled the show. Obviously, it got a lot of backlash, and then there was some forced. I won't really go into detail, but there were some things in there that were kind of forced and kind of made some people mad. And then, I don't know, just the budget. The budget's really the main. I think that's the main reason they're not getting a second season. Like, oh hey, we blew 180 on this crap. And like now it's unfortunate because like I don't know. I assume. Actually, I don't know. Like, can someone else take over and they make, don't necessarily call it a second season, but like more from this time period, and then they themselves insert Plagueis, Tenebris, young Palpatine, and all that stuff. Can someone else do that? We just don't know right now. So like, I don't know if we'll ever get to see, Plagueis again in live action. Hopefully someone else can take over and they do something with that, but I just don't know how it works in terms of like contracts and all that. But
I hope so too.
Yeah, but we shall see, I guess.
Well, that's just a little kind of like our perspective with Abeloth, or I'm sorry, I almost spoiled their next topic, but kind of talking about Acolyte, and everything. So kind of we'll get to Abeloth a little bit later, but the next two things that we kind of want to discuss, and just with the kind of for a short period of time. Kind of want to discuss about Mando, the Mandalorian next season, and Andor next season. So I'm thinking I'm gonna go ahead and start with Mando to start out.
Is Mando getting a 4th season, or are they gonna go straight, or is it just straight into their movie?
I think it's straight into the movie.
Okay.
I think it's straight into the movie. And to kind of discuss a little bit about Mando, we all know who the Mandalorian is. We have Baby Yoda, aka Grogu. They were talking about, they just finished the season 3, and now they're discussing about season 4. But I believe they're going to just make the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. I believe that's what it's going to be called.
By the way, the title, I'm not a fan of the title.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the title.
But the title is, that's strictly PR. That's strictly advertising. That's not going to affect how the movie does. But yeah, it's just a title.
So what we think about the movie that was going to happen is essentially we're going to tie this to Ahsoka. And in Ahsoka, which if you have not seen it, do not see this video because it's kind of a spoiler alert. In Ahsoka, essentially Admiral Thrawn, which if you don't know who Thrawn is, you need to watch Rebels. And Thrawn basically comes back. Yes.
One more thing about Grand Admiral Thrawn.
Yes.
So there's the Thrawn trilogy.
Yes.
Which you absolutely, if you haven't read it, it's a 3-part or like 3-book trilogy or whatever. You need to read it. It's absolutely incredible. I actually bought the 3-book set. So you've got Heir to the Empire, Dark Force Rising, and The Last Command. Timothy Zahn wrote these, by the way. Yeah, they're great. They're definitely worth the read. You don't have to read them before you go in and watch Ahsoka, but before you do go watch Ahsoka and you see Grand Admiral Thrawn there later in the season, I recommend you go back and watch Rebels for sure. Absolutely.
I like that. So to piggyback on what Ariel said about Thrawn, he's a Grand Admiral in the Empire. Long story short, with the Rebels, him and I really just forget his name.
Are we talking Ezra Bridger?
Yes,
okay.
Ezra. Ezra is a character within Rebels too. Main character. Him and Ezra get sent into space by the Purples. And they're basically, long story short, Ahsoka is the seeking to find where Ezra and Thrawn is. And this is, of course, after, I believe this is in the Mando era right now. This is in the Mandalorian era, so the Death Star 2 has been blown up. This is essentially before Force Awakens or during Force Awakens.
I believe all this is between episodes 6 and 7. I believe.
So this is like the timeline between Return of the Jedi and Force Awakens, basically. It's the new alliance right now, and the Empire is still in shambles because essentially Vader is dead and the Emperor is dead too. With them trying to figure out where Ezra and Thrawn is, Ahsoka and Sabine Wren. Yep, Sabine. Wow, our Star Wars names are terrible today.
It happens.
Yeah. They're basically trying to find where they are right now, and they go on this journey to figure out where Ezra is. But long story short, they want to bring Ezra home because essentially in his universe right now, Luke Skywalker is the only Jedi, and essentially Ezra is also a Jedi, coming to the Jedi, and this ties into the Mando movie because at the end of Ahsoka, which is spoiler alert, they find Ezra and they bring Ezra home. But when they bring Ezra home, they essentially release Thrawn into the universe, and now they have no idea where Thrawn is. And essentially, Ahsoka and Sabine are stuck on their planet.
Yeah.
The planet that they were on, and it's almost as a chaotic case of events because they did release Ezra, but they also released Thrawn and left Ahsoka and Sabine. So I'm really curious to see of how this is going to play out. A couple of scenes that we've seen is some people from Rebels are showing back up. Hera Syndulla.
Yep.
Seen Chop.
Yep. What's their
guy?
Jason's her kid's name,
yes,
and then the big dude.
No, yeah.
We're struggling today, but anyway.
They're all basically on their way to help out Ahsoka.
Yeah.
And his name is now, oh goodness, Zeb.
That's right, Zeb.
Yep. That's who it is. So
Aurelius or something.
Yeah.
Aurelius or something like that.
Zeb Guerrero. Yeah.
Okay.
They're essentially working together to now, I'm assuming, going to either fight Thrawn and get Ahsoka and Sabine back. So it's going to be a chaotic case of events for Mando, but that's kind of what we're kind of thinking of what's going to be happening for Mando. What would you maybe add some touch points on that one, Harry?
So if they do an Ahsoka season 2, obviously you've got Ahsoka and Sabine. They're there with Shin Hati and Balin Skull, who I think were the best parts of season
Yes.
one of Ahsoka. They were absolutely fantastic in every episode, and I really want to know their backstory.
Me
Like,
too.
if there is a season two, I really hope we get like a couple episodes just like them in like younger years. How did Shinhati end up with Balin Skull? Is that his daughter? Is it like there's a lot of stuff I'd like to know from that. So if we do get a season two, I hope a lot of that stuff gets touched on. As for the Mandalorian and Grogu, I think that film is going to set up like the big one, which will be Heir to the Empire.
I think so too.
So I think we're going to get Mandalorian and Grogu, possibly Ahsoka season two. And I think so. If we we'll take Mandalorian and Grogu, and I don't really know all the synopsis of their movie, but we did see Zeb, and I'm assuming they'll get in touch, and Zeb's going to be like, "Hey, I need your help getting Sabine and Ahsoka back and all that stuff." And there's a chance they'll go find them, or you might go grab Ezra or something. I don't know. But I think by the end of that movie, Thrawn will be developed as like, hey, he already is a major threat, but like, hey, he's like, this is big time. We need to stop this guy and whatever. And if he does show up at the end of the film, I hope it's in a way like the opening of Thor Ragnarok. No, it was, Infinity War.
Yes.
Where Thanos, intervened with the Asgardians, like destroyed their like big ship with all the Asgardians, most of the Asgardians on it. Some of them escaped. But basically the film opens where he's like, him and his little sidekicks, henchmen or whatever, they intervened with the big ship, killed all the Asgardians, and then Thanos like basically destroys Hulk. Didn't kill him or anything, but like makes him worthless. Then he killed Loki, which was extremely heartbreaking. I just hope that Thrawn gets developed in a way where it's like, hey, this guy is absolutely evil. We hate this guy. We got to stop him. I'm hoping they do that by the end of the film. And then I think by the end of The Mandalorian and Grogu, we'll at least have an idea of where everybody else is in the universe. Because in Heir to the Empire, I think everyone's going to come together. Mando, Grogu, Ahsoka for sure, Sabine, Hera, Ezra, everybody from Rebels, and then
maybe we'll probably see Luke. Maybe
there's a good actually we pretty much have to see Luke.
We'll definitely
see Luke and Leia, yeah, for sure. And technically Han and Chewie were kind of around too.
We'll definitely see
Mothma for sure. And then, gosh, what's her man? The Katie Sackhoff's character. Why am I'm just drawing blanks tonight.
Yeah, we've definitely been drawing some blanks.
Girl in the blue and white Mando armor.
Oh,
short hair.
Bo-Katan.
Yeah, there we go. She'll obviously be in there too.
Yes.
Like everyone's going to come together by either the end of that movie or if we get Ahsoka season 2, which we should by the end of that show, and then that'll jump us into Heir to the Empire, where it's just all out war trying to stop this guy, and then I guess we'll just after that it just kind of everyone's story just kind of ends. I guess I don't know, but I assume that would be kind of the end of everyone's story. So
I like that. Kind of switch some topics then. We'll kind of do a quick. I think we'll do a quick touch base with Andor.
Yeah.
Because with Andor, we was able to see I'm going to say the political civilian side that we really don't ever seen in Star Wars. And we were able to see how at birth of a rebellion truly started. And it does take place of the main character, Cassian Andor, which if you don't know Cassian Andor, he is one of the main characters in Rogue One with wow, this is bad.
This is terrible.
This is absolutely
this
bad.
Is terrible.
Wow. I'm really gonna have to use Google for her.
Yeah.
She's the other main character in
She wasn't in Andor though.
She was not in Andor though. Jyn Erso.
That's right. Jyn
So
Erso.
Jyn Erso is also the main character in Rogue One with Cassian Andor, but we're also able to see the birth of a rebellion, how Cassian Andor became a captain within the spies for the rebellion. And I really loved the way the plot, the storyline, the character development, we were able to see how things truly started for Andor. And I think who we'll see, I have a couple speculations of who we're going to see in Andor 2.
Okay.
I think we will see Saw Gerrera.
For sure.
I think we'll definitely see Saw Gerrera in there. I think we will see KP3O,
Something like that.
Imperial droid from Rogue One.
Yeah.
We're going to see his
Is it
backstory,
KT?
Cassian.
Is it
K2O?
K2O something? Something like that. Yeah, he's cool.
We'll see him. I think we'll K2SO.
That's right. K2SO. Yeah.
I think we'll also get to see. I feel like we will get to also see a build up of Orson Krennic too. I feel like we're going to see like the backstory of Krennic, how he became a director.
Krennic. Absolutely incredible.
Rise in the Empire. I think we'll see that. There really hasn't been much information about Andor season 2, so we can't really, give too much speculations. We can kind of just talk about what we're expecting, what we think that's going to happen, since there really hasn't been too much information that's truly came out.
Yeah, they have been extremely tight-lipped on this project.
Yes.
Which honestly, I'm totally fine with.
Me too.
Andor season 1 was incredible.
Me too.
It was
thoroughly loved it.
Besides Mando season 2, it was, in my opinion, the best project Star Wars has put out since Rogue One. In terms of Disney owning, Star Wars. Yeah, it was incredible, and some of the actors are saying, season 2 is going to be, that much better. And if that's the case, I'm so ready. I'm so ready.
I'm completely ready for this. We'll definitely have to do some deep dives when it comes out, if we have any more information and stuff. So I'm thoroughly looking forward to it. So wanted to, I'm not sure, Andrew Harrison, do you have any more thoughts with Andor?
There's one thing that needs to be answered.
Yes.
Andy Serkis' character. I forget his character's name. Did Bro learn how to swim? And if Bro learned how to swim, did he make it to land? I need to know this. I need to know.
Hey, dog.
I need to know.
He's one of the best. He is one of his character development in the entire in all of Star Wars. I think he is number one next to Crosshair.
Yeah.
I think their character development was absolutely perfect to a T.
Yeah.
And I really want to know if he learned how to swim.
Yeah. And just in season 1, anytime they were there on that prison or whatever.
Yes.
It was great. It was great. Anytime they were there, you were fully engaged. You were like, we got to get these guys out. And you're almost, obviously we're just watching, but we're almost plotting with them an escape plan. And if you can do that in television or movie, you know how to write a story.
Right. I agree completely. So that being said, I think we might have to switch gears real quick. So
Perfectly fine with that.
one thing we like to do with some of our friends is that we'll have them come to us, and one day, maybe we're able to get them onto the show, onto the podcast, and actually have a live discussion. But we have some of our friends that basically asked us a couple questions within Star Wars. That they're kind of, I wouldn't say they're new to Star Wars, but they're new to the Star Wars lore, the background, understanding all the ins and outs of Star Wars that me and Harry don't know. So I have two very good buddies of mine. Excuse me. One is named DJ Scott. The other name is Blake Andrew, which I call him Block. There is no Blake in my vocabulary. And DJ is I'm not bashing on DJ at all. But he's starting to really dive deep into the Star Wars lore, the Star Wars background, the Star Wars universe. Block already knows a good amount of it, so there's a time where me and DJ and Block sat together, and DJ had a couple questions for me. So the first question, he had doing a little bit of research on his own. He asked me about Abeloth. So a little background with Abeloth, right? Abeloth is a Force being character. She is essentially a part of the Force. She is a part of the Force trio with the father, the son, and the daughter. Which, just doing a quick background of the father, son, and the daughter. They first were, they're basically the balances of good and evil. So the father is the balance, the son is the evil, and the daughter is the good. And they first became talked about, and they first became shown in the Clone Wars, which I believe it's called the Ghost of Mortis.
I think so.
Anakin, Ahsoka, and Obi-Wan essentially came to the, they were stranded on this world. And long story short, which I highly advise everybody to go watch the Clone Wars. Long story short, the father was the balance of the son, and essentially the son accidentally killed the daughter, and then killed the father. So they were just straight-based corruption, and Anakin is the only one that is essentially bringing balance to the Force. And the reason why I bring that up is because it showed as a foreshadowing of what Anakin is determined to be, which everybody knows Anakin turns into Darth Vader. I kind of touch base on that because we see at the end of Ahsoka Episode 1, Balin's Scroll, he is peering off into the distance, calling to a force that is calling to him. Now, if we think about this timeline right now, right, the Clone Wars happened way after way before the Death Star, the blow up of Death Star 2. And in Ahsoka Season 1, we see at the very end, which is right in between the blow up of Death Star 2 and the Force Awakens, Balin's Scroll standing on top of statues of the father, the son, and the daughter, peering out to this distance, calling to a different force that's stronger than ever. And with that being said, we think that that force is Abeloth. Now, a lot of people are turning to Abeloth is because of the backside with her. She is known as the bringer of chaos and destructor. She's a very, 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 very powerful force entity. And the reason why she became a dyad or essentially with the force is because she drank from the fountain of power and she bathed in the pool of knowledge because she wanted to be like the father, the son, and the daughter. And with that being said, at this time, with the end of Ahsoka, the father, the son, and the daughter are no longer alive. But we don't know what happened to Abeloth because she became so powerful. The father, the son, and the daughter had to imprison her. We don't know where, essentially. We have speculations that it's on this planet, and that's why Balin is going there.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't know for sure. Abeloth is a very, 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 very powerful creature.
Yeah.
And what I mean by very powerful, she will give Luke Skywalker in his prime a stroke.
Absolutely.
And there's so much information about Abeloth in general, but you have to really dive deep into Star Wars and understand learning why Acolyte is such a powerful being, and she is one of the most powerful evil force entities in the entire Star Wars universe.
Yeah, I think she's who's going to Balin the whole time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
She obviously he had his mission with, gosh, I'm forgetting someone else's name. The Asian chick that's Dathomirian witch.
Ventress.
No, she was in Ahsoka.
Mother something. I know who you're talking
basically, about. Yeah. So basically, she wants to go help Thrawn escape. And then she basically recruited Shin Hati, Balin Skull to help her, whatever. Basically, yeah, Balin was helping, But also, I think that she was calling to Balin from that same planet, and now Balin's got like two different missions going on. He doesn't really care about getting thrown out because he knows she's also on that planet, and hey, you can gain infinite power and whatever. If you,
Elizabeth.
yeah, that's right, Morgan Elsbeth, yeah. So I think at the end of the day, Balin's goal was that his main mission was to get to Abeloth, for sure, for sure. Unfortunately, the actor Ray, I forget his last name, Ray Stevenson, passed away. Hopefully, I hope and pray that they recast Balin, because I really want to see that story unfold. But yeah, I think for sure, she was his main mission at the end of the day. Didn't really care about Thrawn. He just wanted to get to Abeloth.
Nice. I agree completely, and that's why Abeloth is one of the most crazy villains within the Star Wars universe, because she can use the both good side of the Force and the bad side of the Force.
Yeah.
And she technically can never die.
Right, yeah, she's kind of unlike really any entity we've seen in Star Wars.
And the only thing I have truly seen about Acolyte with the way that she can die, actually, is because she can die by essentially the dagger that was used in the Clone Wars to kill the daughter and the father.
Mm-hmm.
But she's so powerful that she can just latch onto multiple beings, and she can just keep being in the Force.
Right.
And it's interesting that you really understand of like how powerful the Force is with Star Wars, is that it's everything. It's anything that you look around, where it's the energy that you give out, the energy that you portray. It's literally within you, 24/7 in the Force. The Force is with you. The Force is one.
It's what binds us.
Mm-hmm. So there's a lot with Abeloth with that. So DJ, thank you for that question. The next question that he did ask me, because we had a good discussion about some stuff he was asking questions about. And they essentially do tie together in a way, but we're just going to kind of touch base on them a little bit. The next one was him telling me a little bit about Ahsoka and the Clone Wars. So Ahsoka, we all know who Ahsoka is. She's honestly one of the most fan-favorited Jedi, fan-favorite Star Wars characters now within the Star Wars universe. She originated from the Clone Wars. She was Anakin's daughter. So we get to, in the Clone Wars, you really get to see the adventures, the character development of how Ahsoka came to be, and why Ahsoka is the character she is now. With Ahsoka being that type of character, she, with her, she from the Clone Wars, she became casted from the Jedi Order, and essentially she became, I'm not gonna say one with the Force, but she became, being able to know what's going on within the Force with the good side and the bad side. That's allowed her to be able to see within the world, within the universe.
Yeah, she basically became a gray Jedi, basically. Like, she didn't specifically practice one side of the Force, the light or the dark. She could kind of bind them in the middle. She could kind of, if she wanted to, edge a little bit to the dark side, a little bit to the light side. She kind of hung in the middle. Like, she wasn't a part of Jedi Order, wasn't a part of the Sith. She was just kind of doing her own thing in a way.
Right. Right.
And I personally love that for her. I think it was a great decision. And I think she was the perfect example of a character that would be a great Jedi.
Yes.
So
I agree with you on that. And we get to see her character development not only in the Clone Wars, but we really got to see her in Rebels, the reason why she became the Jedi that she is now. I highly advise everyone to go out and watch the Clone Wars, really understand, because if not only with Ahsoka, the Clone Wars, but you really get to see what happens truly between the Episode 2 and Episode 3. And I would say her compassion for defeating evil, I guess I would say. but understanding that there is evil and goods in both sides, essentially. But that's what we would kind of touch base on with that. The last couple things that he asked me about, which this is a completely random off topic, really weird, which the only way anybody in the audience will truly learn about this is watching the Clone Wars. And this talks about brainworms and Geonosian.
And that is not something a lot of people know about. Right. That's a great question. That's what that is.
So with what we kind of talked about within the Clone Wars, there is essentially a zombie outbreak almost within the Clone Wars. And there are these Geonosian worms that will basically go into your skull, go into your brain, take over your mind, and you cannot control anything that you do. With that being said, it's almost to a point of where it's a Geonosian brain hive mind, and it's only controlled by the Queen, the Geonosian Queen. Yes, the bugs have a queen, and you can't defeat it. You can see in the Clone Wars, Anakin, Obi-Wan have to go rescue Luminar from the Geonosian hive mind because they captured her. They wanted to see what it looks like on a Jedi, and you can see them fighting, slicing Geonosians, shooting them in the head, and they just don't die. They just don't die. And the only thing that you can really see from how they're being defeated is Ahsoka and Barriss Offee, which is the Padawan of Luminar at the time. They were transporting a medical frigate to this medical remote outpost station next to Kit Fisto. And the Geonosian brainworms invaded the ship compared to where Barriss was infected. The entire ship was infected, besides Ahsoka. And they realized that the biggest thing that kills the worms is cold. And we were able to see in the Geonosian episode that they blasted the roof off of the Geonosian hive mind because they dwell upon under cavern heat.
Mm-hmm.
That's where they dwell upon. And that honestly was a very off topic that DJ did ask me.
Yeah.
But I appreciate that because it's a very interesting conversation. It doesn't really get talked about. You also get to witness the second battle of Geonosis, which I think that's one of my favorites.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. For sure. Yeah. And I think, I love getting asked questions that are just so obscure, so out there, and so like deep in like Star Wars knowledge that obviously we know this stuff, but we still have to like be able to recall it.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to, really think about it ourselves too. And I love being challenged in that way. So great question.
Thanks. For sure, dude. And
I'm
just going to throw a random fact about this, which you all think this is really weird, but I promise you it's true. There is a theory behind this that everybody remembers the cuddly teddy bear Ewoks from Andor. They're actually cannibals.
Yeah.
And they have ate the stormtroopers' dead bodies. So, like I said, we love when people ask us these conversations with Star Wars, testing our knowledge and learning more. We appreciate, us to ask for you to ask us any and everything. So, I believe the last question that he did ask me, which is not really, I'm not going to say there's a lot of information about it because you really got to dig deep into Star Wars, and this is the Star Wars.
Mm.
And Star Wars are essentially they're ancient creatures that resonate within the Force. They feed on Force-sensitive characters. So they really feed on really feed on Sith, Jedi powers, and they essentially try to eat you. And the only thing I really know about with Star Wars is, one, they're very scary creatures, for one. Very powerful. Two, I've only seen this in a comic book of where they infiltrated Vader's ship one time because they knew it was Force sensitive.
I remember that.
But they apparently saw Vader saw how menacing, how powerful, how strong he was, and got scared and fled the ship. Which, that's why we want to learn also, too, more about Vader in general, of just like, what did he do? Why, I want to like know more of how powerful he was, not only within the Force, but against soldiers, against other characters, and why he was so powerful.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Again, Vader deserves a lot more screen time.
Mm-hmm.
A lot more screen time, specifically between episode 3 and 4.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think we as a community deserve to see like Vader in his like most evil form, like his most menacing form. And I don't know, hopefully we get that soon. I think we will. I would say for sure in the next I don't know. I just don't know when Heir to the Empire is going to come out. I feel like in the next 10 years for sure, we're going to get something with like Vader in his prime. Because like Hayden Christensen, I mean, he's not a kid anymore. And obviously he's done a great job as Vader. And I think he definitely deserves to continue to play Vader for as long as he can. So obviously let's try to get this stuff done while he's still in, I want to say he's like in his early 40s or something. Let's try to get this stuff done while he's still like, able to do it all. So hopefully in the next, 10 years max, hopefully less, we get to see that stuff.
I agree completely. And we all know that Hayden Christensen is the best actor that's portrayed Anakin Skywalker, which I still think, I can't remember his name, but something, the voice actor, the Clone Wars Anakin, he played it perfectly too.
Yeah.
Everything about Anakin is portrayed in Clone Wars, the voice was perfect, but we all know Hayden Christensen is the
yeah, for sure. It's got to happen. It needs to happen.
Well, that being said, if we go all the questions that we had asked, kind of the topics we wanted to talk about today, I know it's been a little bit since we kind of got back on here. Life goes on. Harrison, what you got?
So there is one thing I want to say. This is going back to the Acolyte. So the fan base is very divided. Let's be real.
Yes.
And it's also very toxic. So when the news came out that the Acolyte had been canceled after one season, there were a lot of people like rejoicing and like saying, "We've won, we did it. Finally, no more of this trash." While I do agree the show was pretty bad, I don't think we as a community won. I think we lost. Like the fact that something got put out, Star Wars related, but the vast majority of the community despised it, is a major loss. We didn't win at all. We lost. Like that's sad. That's very sad and very like it just sucks. Like that the show just had to divide the community the way it did, and just I don't know, it just kind of just splintered the community. Everyone's just, I don't know, vast majority hate it. There are a few that liked it, and for those of you who liked it, I'm jealous. I wish I liked it. I really do. And nothing against you for liking it. I just personally didn't. And, shows, movies, all that stuff, they speak to people in different ways. Like, for instance, Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. I loved that film. I loved it. But I will say the majority of people didn't. And another thing that sucks is that the kid that played young Anakin, he got bullied a lot. Just from, like, people just like, man, he was terrible portraying young Anakin and all that stuff. And I'm like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Do you not have anything better to do than to bully a little kid?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, come on. And I don't know, just stuff like that where it's like some people loved it, more hated it.
Yeah.
But again, it just kind of speaks to people in different ways. We can't all, if there's no such thing as the perfect movie, the perfect show, to where 100% of people are all in accordance. You're always going to have people that like or do not like whatever it is. So yeah, I think at the end of the day, the community lost with the Acolyte, and yeah, hopefully, I don't know, hopefully the next Star Wars project just kind of brings everyone back together. Like we've got Skeleton Crew coming up. That show looks, I don't know what the budget was for it, but it looks cinematic. It looks great. And I hope story-wise it delivers. I hope everyone enjoys the characters and stuff. And yeah, we got that. And then Andor Season 2, obviously it's going to be fantastic. So I think the Acolyte for the community was a low point. Obviously some people liked it, but most did not. But let's not say we won, because we was a low point. We just, I don't know, we lost. So let's just be real. Let's all act like adults. Let's grow up, and let's move on to the next thing. And hopefully the next thing ends up being great and authentically Star Wars. So we shall see.
I agree. And just to kind of piggyback on what he said, yes, I did have some high hopes with Acolyte because it took place in the Old Republic era, and I really would love to know more about the Old Republic era because a lot of people do not know about it. And the more that, like, they really messed up the way things are going to go, don't, as you said, it's not. I know there's a couple people that are divided, there's a couple people that are rejoicing because it's over with. It's not a win. It's just very, I would say it's very sad in a sense that we had something that was high hopes, there was good intentions of what they were doing before the show came out, what it's going to be about, what's going to happen, and then it's canceled. It was just like almost a waste of money of that $450 million or whatever, how much that was. And I will say that we do have some good things that come out to look forward to. As you said, Skeleton Crew. That's going to be very cinematic, very intriguing, in my opinion, and I can't wait for that. They're also coming out with a new open world Star Wars game, which is Star Wars Outlaw. And I really am looking forward to that because it takes place as a move an outlaw/bounty hunter in the Empire. And it's almost like a GTA version of Star Wars, but more within the Star Wars universe, and you actually fending for yourself, finding ways to get money, finding ways to keep yourself alive within GTA. You just do missions and stuff, and you just automatically fly a plane. You can't really do that in Outlaw, and I'm really looking forward to how Star Wars Outlaw is going to play out. I know I'm definitely going to probably play that game. Get the game and stuff, and see how the game turns out.
Yeah, that's crazy. We got Star Wars Outlaws before GTA 6. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy.
I'm not gonna lie.
But yeah, that's about, I think that's just about everything. We covered tons of topics today, man.
Yeah.
Like a lot. And I don't know how long this episode's running, but it's going to be a long one. But obviously engaging. We covered a lot. It was a great talks, great talking points and everything, and yeah, it was fun, a lot of fun.
Like I said, we know this episode did take a little bit for us to get back on. Life happens, and we thank you all for being patient with us. Sometimes a lot of people say this is not easy, just jumping on here and just talking about like certain topics and keep it going for the audience, for you all. So we do appreciate, the patience and the consideration of things. And one thing we would like to add too is don't hesitate to ask us questions. Even if I use personally ask me a question, personally ask Harry a question, or want to address us both, Don't be shy to put things down into the comments. Don't be shy to private message us on Instagram, whatever. I mean, I think we're gonna get this live to Spotify now too.
Yep.
And maybe even TikTok. So we're really putting our name out there of under, don't be hesitant to ask us anything. We're more than happy to be answering any questions, whether you want to receive on podcasts, whether we just want to message you privately, etc. And I'm sure that, between our friends, we'll have more questions to talk about. Like I said, shout out to DJ and Block for asking me questions and put them to the podcast. So appreciate you all both. And being able to, hopefully soon we're going to have a lot more content for you. Maybe even doing little things as just little topics, or even big topics, or sports, or golf, or football is coming up soon. And I'm a big football fan. I know Julio is a big football fan.
Yep.
We're going to have a lot more great discussions and episodes for you. So I know this one, like you said, was a lengthy one, but we covered a lot of different topics that essentially is very, very, very important to the podcast, and things that are important to us. So we want to say thank you again. And with that being said, you got anything else for us?
I will say one thing. So, obviously we'll keep talking about all these topics. I think we're also going to throw in just kind of general movie news, knowledge and stuff. Obviously, certain IPs like Marvel, mainly Star Wars, but we're also going to do some Marvel. They've had some big announcements recently and a lot of good content coming up.
Yeah.
DC is starting to get their act together again, thanks to James Gunn launching his own cinematic universe. I think he's going to do a great job with that. And then just other stuff, and we'll even just talk, just box office stuff and all that. And by the next episode, I'm sure we're gonna have some more major news about Deadpool and Wolverine just breaking all the records that they're breaking. It's a great movie, by the way. If you haven't seen it, please go see it. It's terrific. Yeah. But so we'll do just some general movie stuff as well, as all this Star Wars and Lego stuff. So stay tuned.
Well, Harold, in that case, we'll appreciate that. We'll go ahead and wrap things up from here. We'll definitely get this out. So please, as we do this little classic jingle, like, comment, subscribe, share it with your friends, share it with your mama, share it with your daddy, share it with your sister. Share everybody that you know, somebody that you hate, share it an ex, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Share it with it. That being said, this is Daily Host. I'm Cole, co-host.
I'm Harrison, the other co-host. I guess that's how that works. Yeah. The other co-host. Yeah, co-host. That's right. I'm the co-host. A co-host. Yeah.
Well, with that being said, guys, thank you again. I'll talk to y'all soon.